everyone. So today is Thanksgiving, so we are going to finish up the dinner preparation now. So I have cranberry here to make cranberry sauce. This is going to be the Indian style, like a tokku. So I have 1 pack of cranberries. I'm going to save a few for decorating later the turkey. So I'll leave that here. And then we have a little bit of ginger, maybe like an inch, that is peeled and shredded. And I have half teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of chili powder, and 2.5 teaspoons of jaggery powder. So I'm going to saute this with the ginger and the fenugreek seeds, and then nicely grind it, and then again bring it to a boil with salt, chili powder and jaggery. That's it. Put some oil, seeds, adding some ginger, once you start cooking, it actually pops, and soon it will mash up into like a nice saucy consistency. But still, it's good to grind it, otherwise the skin is a little annoying in every bite. Half cup of boiling water. Bring it back to the same pan, the ground cranberry. So it's boiling right now. To this, I'm going to add salt. It takes in a little more salt than you expect. Chili powder. Look at the color. I think we can add a little more water. Add some more water. The jaggery powder. So to use it as a sauce, I'm just going to stop it right here. And this looks good and tastes good. And here is our cranberry sauce. So 1 pack was enough to make like this much. Okay, so now we are ready to make our beans casserole. So I'm going to use some washed and trimmed beans. So I'm cutting the beans into inch-long pieces like this. So for the beans casserole, I have cut like 4 cups of beans, and this is a big can, so you need a regular can of Campbell's soup. So this is half the can. I'm going to pour that in, and I have this French crispy fried onions. I'm going to add them. I'm going to save a little to garnish later. All this well and transfer it to a casserole dish. So I took out the pie dough that we prepared yesterday. Leaving it in the fridge for 1 hour is enough dough. So I'm going to unwrap this. While it's cold, you have to flatten it into a bigger disc, like about a 12-inch disc, so that it will fit on the pie pan. I'm going to use an 8-inch baking dish. I'm going to use this dish, which is 8-inch, so it has to cover this and it has to go inside. So I have flattened out the pie dough like this. So I have the pie dough stretched out, and I'm going to put it on top of the pie pan like this, and then you have to press it down into the corners. So for the apple pie filling, I have apples. So you have to use firm apples. So it could be the Granny Smith green apple, because it will give a slight sour taste too. Gala. So I have a mix of all the apples. I have Granny Smith, Honeycrisp and Gala. So I'm thinking I'll use about 4 apples for 1 pie. This core. So I'm going to peel this core and cut them into slices. So I'm going to slice it like a 1/4 inch thick. So here you go. I have the 4 apples peeled, cored and cut into slices like this. I'm going to mix it well. So to this, I'm going to add the juice of 1 lemon, and I'll do that later. And this is half a cup of sugar, and quarter cup of all-purpose flour. This is what is going to thicken the apples. And this is a stick of cinnamon. I did not have the powdered cinnamon, so I'm using 1 stick of cinnamon ground with some sugar, because it's easier to grind that way. And then to this I'm going to add some nutmeg, quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. And then we're going to squeeze the juice of 1 lemon into it. And mix this all well. So this is how it looks after it's mixed well. And now I'm going to take out the pie dough from the fridge and put that, and going to layer this or fill this up, and then put another layer of pie dough on top and going to seal them together. So here I'm making the top for the apple pie. So I made the crust already and we have the filling ready. Now I'm trying to make the top. See, it, it's not always that it will come out very good the first time. So if it happens to be like this, I mean, it's not good, but it's still, a good cook is not the one that just cooks, but should also know to repair and rectify, so right? Sometimes it can break apart, so don't get panicked, but still you have to work it into a sheet to make a cover, right? So take the dough, roll it again, make it into a ball, and you're working more with the dough, which is bad. It'll reduce the flakiness, it'll compromise on the flakiness, but it's fine because you have to make it into a sheet, so don't worry too much. Just make it into a dough again and roll it. It's going to be much easier. See, now it's flattening out nicely without the break. I'm going to transfer this and bring my base. And we have the apple cut and mixed with all the spices and lemon juice. So I'm going to, just the base, I'm going to arrange it around like this and then fill up the top, so you don't have any gaps or air pockets. I've filled up with the filling, and now I'm going to put the top layer. So just seal it here, go around and seal it well. So I've kind of pinched the rims like this. Doesn't look so great, but some kind of design. Okay. So, and then so that the air escapes, you have to make like some cuts, like 4 cuts. And then I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I forgot about the egg wash. My daughter just reminded me. So I have 1 egg yolk here. I have 1 egg yolk here. To that, I'm going to add some cream, like maybe 2 tablespoons.
And then you just paint on the egg.
This is how it looks after I took out from the oven. Actually, one side is overcooked. It was like this on the other side, but I didn't want anything undercooked, so I put it in the oven for 5 more minutes. Maybe we can scrape off this bit. And beyond the looks, I hope it tastes good.